Welcome back to 23 Minute Reads with me, Mya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is The Dance Claimed Me. As a part of my 23 to 23 challenge, I'm reading 23 minutes per day, every day, as an action of self love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever changing world. Hoping that you will join me along in this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and dropping some comments down there in that comment section so that there's an actual dialogue going on. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, a curriculum writer, and a dancer, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply providing a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read pages 151 through 200, and let me get my notes so I can give you my 3 takeaways. Takeaway number 1 is at risk. The quote reads, by 1983, the nation was considered at risk, but awareness that the arts could play a significant role in bringing about a social and educational change had emerged earlier. Pearl's thesis provided a response to a moral crisis by presenting a form of arts education that is fully integrated into society's understanding of its place in the human world and the cosmos. Primus understood connection. The thesis focused on Mask of the Mono people, and the mask served as connectors between present society and the ancestors. The dances themselves were movement extensions of the community and the connection between the present and history. By 83, Primus's PhD was well in the works, and she wanted it to be a dancing dissertation. So here's what I offer. People who feel alone or do not see humanity in others are at risk of doing some not so nice things. Through Primus's writing and dance education program, students would learn basic symbols, principles, concepts about dance that apply to all people. All of this works towards senses of belonging and appreciation through the understanding of connection. Takeaway number 2 is Ailey. Primus worked with the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater several times, including teaching the wonderful Judith Jamison Funga. Jamison was quoted as saying, "It's sometimes thought that African dance is something that you just roll off a log. It's not. It's repetition, it's hypnotic, it's difficult. It's about subtlety of movement. It's about nuance." Mpenyuza was one of the dances that Dr. Primus learned in one of her earlier trips to Africa, specifically Rwanda, and had to be declared as a man in order to learn the dance. This was also a ballet that she choreographed for her second husband, Percival Board, something that he literally performed until the moment he passed. This was an emotionally intense portion of the book for me to read, in that it's very descriptive of the moment, or I felt it was very descriptive of the moment that he passed away, due to people still being here that were there during that time where he did the piece. He said it was his last time doing the piece and started his transition into the ancestral realm right after that performance. I imagine that this was emotionally hard to pass that ephemeral artifact of her husband on to Alvin Ailey Theater, and the male dancers at the time expressed the difficulty, the physical difficulty in learning the movement. And that takes me to takeaway number 3, which is disjunction. So the women during that time were known to have been sitting outside of the rehearsal space, peering in, because they also wanted to work with Dr. Primus. And some of them did have past experiences. They enjoyed working with Dr. Primus. I think that part of that difficulty is directly connected to Primus's emotional connection to the movement. But Primus is also noted as saying that she felt that the way that people were being trained was a part of the difficulty that they were having. and that training did not allow for them to understand and pick up her work. Sylvia Waters, however, believed that the disjunction was related to the dancer's inability to understand the connection and the references that were offered. I feel like it's a combination of all of those things. The current trend in dance training did not accommodate Dr. Primus's griot style of teaching. And if you're not from a specific space where the dance originated, you're not going to understand some of the cultural references. This is how this was the moment where I realized, oh wow, my teaching philosophy and pedagogy and andragogy are extensions of her legacy. And not just because some of my mentors are listed in the book or past teachers are listed in the book, but the way that it is done. So what do I mean by that? I mean that in my class, I use a flip model, and then when we meet together, we start with storytelling before the movement is done. And that's my way of trying to decrease some of the disjunction. And I'm just loving this book. Thank you for staying to the end. I hope that by this time you've liked, you've commented down there so that we can have that actual dialogue going on. Stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you next time.